Hey folks, Les back with a third kind of halfway requested video. It's how I got from this toy right here, just the way you see it, you know, the Spinmaster 12-inch shelf figure. Here he is out of the box, and you know, you get from this figure to something that's a little more acceptable and a little more, obviously more popular. So I started out, make this as quick as I can. I actually have draped a new cape over it, and it's only on there to align like to these areas here. You know, you've got to add some little posts to his cowl right here, and they've got to align, the cape's got to align to that. And you've also got to figure out if you've got a rollover where you've got a wire inset, which I made this cape and I put a wire on the front edge. That wire's got to go somewhere, and fortunately when you pull this front off, there's a hollow in there and some holes that go through. You heat the head. To get the head off, I just dipped the thing in boiling hot water and just popped it off, and there's a ball almost as big as this upper part of the head right about here. Pop that off. Once you sort of snap the back, pried and snapped the back and taken the old cheesy cape off, which is very easy to do, these two pieces come off. This one to the front, over this stays on there, and the back piece pulls back, straight back. And you've got a neck with a couple of holes in it, and you've got a hollow right in here. So I just took a Dremel tool with a round rotary kind of a cutter, grinder thing, and cut away some of the plastic that's underneath there, including right in here under the little trap hole where the kind of the lock piece goes through. And it gave the wired cape somewhere to go. It gave it a hollow to go, and it would lay in there, and then this would lay flat, you know, flush back on there. If you don't, it sticks off, it sticks out, and you're stuck with this being underneath. You want all this flush, so you have to Dremel out a little bit underneath there. And if you open it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is not a complex thing. There's showing the cape that I made, and the, you know, you can see the roll under there. I wish, and this is the original plastic. That's the plastic sheen to it. You know, I like that sheen, by the way. I really did. But the more I looked at the models, the photos and all, it was shiny because of reflected light, but it wasn't really shiny like all these toys are. Now, here's me with I've got the cowl piece. They're actually loose. This is only the front piece. If you look right there, it's only the front edge. And I'm adding the points. You see the point there I've added? I Dremeled a little hole in there, and then stuck a little piece of paper clip wire because it's stiff enough, and bent it in the right direction, fitted it, test fitted it, did all that. And then used epoxy putty, two-part epoxy putty, and built up my neck. And what was kind of important there was the brow. See if we can see that a little better. Yeah, there was no little middle brow piece. That sort of, and I had to add a little arch to the cover. The brows were very shallow on the toy. So, by the way, I painted green eyes. There's a lot of debate about his eye color. It's actually gray-green, not blue. Mine are a little green. They're probably greener on this photo than they are if you look at it. But anyway, his eyes are gray-green, not blue. And I added tips to the ears. If you can see that, this is a kind of an unusual way to video, but I can't get my stills to do what I want in my camera, so I can do it this way. I added some tips, same technique. Cut off the top a little bit, Dremeled down into the ear, put a little length of paper clip, more than I needed, and then I cut down to the length that I thought it should be. And as you can see on the side there, I puttied to match. You've also got to trim this piece off here. Just shave it down so it sticks out a little much. But that's the work you do on the head to make him look a little better. The neck, add those posts, the head, and then what you get, that's a little bit of a bright shot, but you can see you get the proper shape. He has a very distinct cowl shape in this one. You see the wide spot is just above the ear, about even with the brows. So you've got to take that taper, you got to fill all this with putty. That's after you've, by the way, glued the head back on, and not all the way down on the ball. I actually trimmed the neck out where it would go up and down, and I could set it where I wanted. And I put some like cotton or something up in the head so that it would rest at the right height, and then super glued it in place and let that set up. Then I did my putty work on top of it. After the head was glued, I came back and did this putty work with both halves attached. Let's see what else we can get here. And because it's a commitment. You know, you're committing all this stuff here to it. You're getting all those shapes. Now this is where I started getting my colors. I had already sprayed him with a flat Japanese spray. By the way, that belt, it does have those gunmetal and silver areas. They're kind of like little tubes. I guess he's got little spots he can hit it with his finger and open them. But you see how this metallic, now this is a real bright photo. This isn't true color. But you can see where I highlighted it with metallics. I just use a gunmetal. Or actually I used what's called oily steel. And dry brushed that, and then did washes of black to get it back where I wanted. Did a little on the cowl, left the cowl blacker, and sprayed it with my Japanese sealing spray. That's just a base that I made using a Joker base. And this is more true color. That's the cape fully opened, you know, that I made with the wires. It's very simple. And there it is closed. And I like the closed look as much. I display it this way. But you can see now with true color, he's pretty dark. The highlights are metallic, and there's a sheen, not a shine. The belt stands out, the pieces stand out, the metals on the front of the knees don't stand out, and that's all done with paint. So my cape work, the cowl work, and the putty work are really all I did. The only other thing I really did, of course, I added a piece of fabric here, and I added 2 pieces on the arms here, 1 on each arm, and that hides the joints. The rest is all toy, the rest is all done. Oh, I did add 1 little tube right here. There's sets of 2. There's actually 2 and 2, and then these other things. But I said, well, that's visually 2, so I just went with it. But there's a gap that's bigger here than there is here, and I kind of tried to make these equal. And that's it. That's what I did to make my Spinmaster Batman into the guy that, you know, everybody's talking about and saying, all right, how do you do this? It's easy if you know what you're doing. So just take your time, enjoy the process, and I hope it works for you. I hope this has been a help, and I'll be back with other videos. Thank y'all very much for your kind words.